Hey everybody, it is the beginning of our chemistry unit, so it is Monday, April 4th, and we're going to name at least 3 elements. That's right, gold, oxygen, lithium, chlorine, or sulfur. Can you name a chemical compound? And if yes, type it. Well, of course we can. Salt, sodium chloride. So let me insert a text box here so we can kind of add these here. So one would be gold. Helium, oxygen, sulfur, and chlorine. You guys, those are awesome. Oop. I'm going to fix my typing, as you can see. Look, we all have spelling mistakes, so they're there. All right. So we come to the end and we say, name a chemical compound. Well, salt or NaCl. Very good. And what's the difference between elements and compounds? Well, something like oxygen or sulfur, or let's do it this way. How about this? 3. Na is sodium. That's one element. NaCl is salt. It requires 2 or more elements together. Okay, so that's our do now for today. You should have typed that into our, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. You could have just simply typed that into our your do now for today in Schoology. And again, we are in Unit 8, so this will be there. All right, so today we're going to learn the difference between elements, molecules, and compounds. I can identify the elements that make up a compound, identify key vocabulary, and distinguish between elements, compounds, atoms, and molecules. Okay, yep, we have to do some digital notebook stuff. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to come here down to materials, and our slides are all here for the day. And here is our, digital notebook. I'm going to slide that back up here. So our digital notebook. So you click there, and as you click on yours, it'll pop up, and your digital notebook should look like, this. Unit 8, it is our last unit. Then the first slide is the cover, then we have the periodic table, then we have this where you're going to write your goal. So what's the chemical formula, okay, for this? The little joke here is, I'll add a text box so you can see it, is B-A-N-A-N-A, banana. You're going to type your goal in here. Here are the teaks where we're going to talk about that we recognize that chemical formulas are used to identify substances and determine the number of atoms of each element in chemical formulas containing subscripts. So those are the little letters that hang down low. Investigate how evidence of chemical reactions indicate that new substances with different properties are formed and how that relates to the law of conservation of mass. Slide 5 is our graphing, the graphing of your quizzes and your DCA so you can always see your progress. So what's the difference here? Well, elements are single sets of atoms or that could be bonded together like oxygen, or they could be a single atom. A molecule is 2 or more atoms bonded together, and a compound is a mixture of many molecules. Some of these are easily able to separate. And you can pause this to do this alongside. Here is the definitions. We typed these directly from the slides. So if you look at the slides for today, there are the definitions copied and pasted with some examples here. And we have all these examples, and then you can insert a picture from Google, and you can say picture of an atom, picture of an element. You can just shrink them down here. You've done this before. But let's look at this. What pictures go with what terms? Well, let's look at these. We have a molecule, an atom, an element, and a bond. Well, it's pointing right there. That looks like a bond where those 2 little guys are actually hanging together, and that's right. And our little picture here should be familiar from last unit. That is a atom. So now our elements, they're separate. Now, helium comes individually. Oxygen, you're going to find it together with 2. It's what we call a diatomic ion, meaning there's 2 of them to make up oxygen. And this is actually a picture of a molecule. And we know that because it shows the bonds and the other attachments. The next thing we talked about was the compounds. What these were, and again, these are directly from the slides. Same slides, we're just kind of comparing them here. Directly from the vocab right here. I just copy and pasted them over into the notebook. And we have a compound, so that'd be something like water. It's a pure substance. And mixture. I like to say Chex Mix or a salad because the best way to think about a mixture is it's something you can actually take the pieces apart and sort. So you can put two pictures in there. And our last slide for today is these. So there's my friend the atom again. I'm going to bring him over. And I talked about how a compound is a lot of things. And if you look, there's varied colors. You can bring these over in here. And again, we've got our molecules and then our elements, our molecule of water, and then our single element. So again, from the last, instead of being a picture now, we're getting a little bit more specific. If we look back at the slides for today, we have a exit ticket. So if you were in Miss Drew's class, you did the Socrative, we did Plickers and Miss Brown's. So we want to count these. So kind of a quick check. Well, that has 2 because it's a subscript. This has 8, 1, 2. Well, these two both have 2. That has 4. So yes, the answer is D. Well, we're going to get a little bit more specific tomorrow about counting atoms and molecules and stuff like that. So we're going to save a little of that for tomorrow. But I hope to see you all Tuesday, and have a great day.